Onward we go to the very first album review of the evening.
Oh, yes.
So, T-Pain, the man himself, won the 2019 Masked Singer. It was the first season. He beat out Donny Osmond and Gladys Knight, which is, I think is kind of an accomplishment.
He was really good on that season, too.
Yeah.
Defeat the Huns.
He did.
Thank you. Donny Osmond's in the studio with us, guys. So the inspiration behind that led to this, his 11th studio album. It is called On Top of the Covers. It is 8 songs, 32 minutes, just over 32 minutes long. Lots of interesting song choices on this record. Some good, some weird. What did you guys think?
I thought this was a cornucopia of choices. I thought the cover, first of all, invoked a...
So, such a good cover.
It's such a good cover.
It does.
With the rose in it.
It was like a rejected Marvin Gaye cover.
Yeah.
I love it.
It just like really brings like what this is, I think, on home. It's a good time. It's supposed to be fun.
Yes.
Well, a
It's
good, like a
supposed to be.
fun, good time.
Yeah.
I feel like everything's with like a wink and a nod and kind of, a new breath of like who T-Pain is as a person and artist now, which I've been really enjoying, like the second act of his career. And we have just covers from Black Sabbath, Sam Cooke. What else? We have Sam Smith.
Frank Sinatra.
Yep.
Stapleton.
Yes. And so from there
Journey.
on, tons of like different arrange of these things, and he brings his own soulful personality to it. They kind of sound like a bit like Earth, Wind, and Fire meets T-Pain in the modern era. So it was a lot of fun for me. I had fun with it.
I will. I'll start with the positives. This album is 8 songs, 32 minutes long. He sounds good. Unfortunately, it's like after the Masked Singer, I was expecting this to be like, oh, my real voice now, and it's like it's not 110% auto-tune like it was in the 15, 20 years ago, but it's still like 20 to 50% auto-tune.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's like I wish his natural voice was allowed to breathe a little bit more. I thought the song choices were kind of weird. Particularly like Don't Stop Believing, when you come into like the third line of the song and it's just like there's a difference between like a bad sounding chord and a wrong chord. So I don't know what it was, but it was both wrong and bad sounding. Like he did like this major 6 chord and it's completely jarring. It comes out and every time it happens in the verse it happens and you're like, whoa. Yeah. I thought the voice was like, it wasn't enough nuance. Like he kind of sings at 100% at all times.
Yes.
So even the quiet moments are like really loud, high energy quiet moments.
Yeah.
So I just found that like I would be a minute and a half into a song and just be like, yo, you've given yourself nowhere to go. And now you're just like singing at the top of your lungs for another 2.5 minutes. I thought the backing tracks were like bad. like everything on keyboards, like bad version of YouTube karaoke tracks for most of these songs. Like even you start out right away with the Sam Cooke song, and it's like, oh yeah, this is the same string thing as the original recording. But then within 10 seconds, you're like, oh, this whole song is gonna be everything keyboard instrument, like sounds like a MIDI shit from 2002.
The worst offender on the whole album is the kick drum on the Black Sabbath song War Pigs, where the song sounds probably like one of the better things on the record. It's like a soulful
the closer of the album
version of War Pigs.
Kind of like P-Funk type of style of Black Sabbath,
But the click drum...
Oh, that kick drum is the worst sounding kick drum I've ever heard on any song in my entire life. That is not an exaggeration.
I'll double down and agree on it. It is the worst produced kick drum sound I've ever heard in my life. It's keyboard click.
And a kick drum happens every 0.7 seconds in a song. So it kind of like...
It's like dum-dum, da-da-dum, da-da, but it's so clicking jarring.
It made Lars Ulrich's and Justice for All kick drum sound like the London Symphonic Timpani. Like it sounds bad.
A lot of weird creative choices. I thought that the Nando STL sort of verse in That's Life was kind of like okay.
Yo, I like like you said when he's like singing on 10, he sang "That's Life"
whole
from the
time.
first kick.
First note.
He was
You're
like,
like,
"That's live," and then you're like, the song. You're like, "Okay, song's over," and then you're like, "What?" There's like
it's
a
like, boom,
there's like a
boom,
dubstep
boom,
rap
boom,
verse.
boom,
at the end.
boom, boom,
That's
boom.
where.
Yeah.
Listen,
Old blue eyes.
for me, that's where I'm like this. It doesn't seem like he's taking it seriously, so that's where I'm like, all this is keyboard shit. He's like singing karaoke. That's where I was coming at it. I'm like, he knows, we all know. So I was having fun with it, but it was a wacky, wild, not great ride.
For
high moments song wise, I actually did like the song "Sharing the Night Together," which is a Dr. Hook cover, and that I think mostly is because I barely know the original version, and I liked the fact it had that kind of like bubbly, summery type of very auto-tuned, but like in a Casey and JoJo kind of way. So I actually like really enjoyed that kind of like boom, 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 ding, ding,
I kind of thought it
flavor.
had like that disco-y like Lizzo vibe that like has been going on, but it was like an old song, so because I didn't know it either, and then I was like, oh, okay, and I was like, it kind of brought like a really soulful vibe to a song I'd like never, you know what I mean? So I enjoyed it in that way.
Scrangs in
I was just about to say
in K major sus. Not
my
really
favorite
my
key.
cup.
My favorite key.
Yeah, not
K
really my
major
cup of tea.
sus.
But I will say one of my higher moments too. I liked Tennessee Whiskey. I thought that actually sounded pretty good, man. Like,
Yo,
with
you
the,
weren't into that string arrangement, dude. I was so into that. That gave
Of
me
what?
the
Scrangs?
I was
It's
so.
not a string arrangement; it's a scrang arrangement.
Thank you.
So respect.
It reminded me of a fifth of Beethoven from that's because that's where I was going with it. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I love this.
That was like T-Pain as Bach.
Yes.
It's the only original on the whole album.
yeah,
But I loved it.
smock.
It was strange. I liked the risk. I also liked at the very end. It ends with like a power down, like, and it's like if the producer was like, "Please God, we have had enough," and like unplug the machine.
Yeah. But yeah, Tennessee Whiskey, I thought that was cool because
You
it's
like the
kind of
chorus in the beginning?
it's kind of like
That chorus,
Yeah.
that crazy chorus guitar in the guitar at the beginning.
yeah, right, yeah. But I'm kind of like I feel Luke too. Like I agree with both of them in the way that I thought it sounded terrible, but like in that way I found it quite charming.
Yeah.
Like I just thought it was fun. It was just a fun record. I don't think it was meant to be taken seriously.
I couldn't help but find this record charming. I even liked that weird chord and "Don't Stop Believing" that
No,
Jeff
I
hated.
hated-
I like the drums and
I
Don't Stop
loved
Believing,
it.
man. It had like that church band, like.
I was so into it.
I was like,
like
oh
this.
shit, this is dope. Yeah,
That-
right.
For me, that was like that was Journey, or that was I can't even think of it. That was Earth, Wind, and Fire does Journey.
Yeah,
for me.
Voyage.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was.
it was a trip.
So let's give it a rating. Let's go around, baby.
Let's do
Round
it.
table.
All right, I'll go first. I'm gonna give this record a 6. I don't think it takes itself too seriously. It's fun, and it's like, you know, man, I don't know what it's for to put it on, like what mood you would put this on in, but like just to be like, yo, T-Pain, then have some fun with it.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at. It's a 6.
I'm gonna agree with Luke too. It's a 6. I really did. I like this record. I did in some weird
Clip
in
it.
some weird terrible way. I was like eating this shit up a little bit, you know. Like I just, you know, I mean, there's auto tune all over the stupid thing. So like we can't say that this is his natural voice because there's definitely moments of auto tune. The lows are weird, but the highs are fun. So 6 for me too.
I am rooting for T-Pain. I loved his Masked Singer stuff. I loved his Tiny Desk concert.
painful,
Watch
though.
the Tiny Desk concert. I like his, I don't know if it's a podcast series, but whatever he's doing on YouTube, I enjoy that kind of stuff. He has like real talks with people. So that being said, I'm looking forward to where he goes. Give us like a real gospel record or something. Do something live. Do something with real instruments, et cetera, et cetera. Mathematically, I would only ever listen. I would only ever listen to 2 of these songs ever again in my life.
Get in the garage, a math podcast.
This wasn't William Hung level, but this was right above what that was. This is the worst thing I've ever listened to on this podcast. I'll give it a 2.5.
Oh wow! There we go. Well, can we get some round of applause real quick for Jeffrey's lowest rating?
I think that's the lowest rating that's ever. Maybe I
Quite
think
possibly.
Did we
Nickelback.
Yeah, we gotta think about. I don't know.
My
what we gave
Nickelback was at
Nickelback.
least a 3.5. I would rather listen to Nickelback 24 hours a day than ever listen to this ever again.
There you have it.
I'd rather listen to this for the rest of my life.
More than anything else.
Desert Island.
This is T-Pain's Dark Side. Well, there you have it, guys. What did you guys think of this T-Pain record? Did you like it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you think it was just all right? I love the album cover. That was great.
True.
Other than that, yeah, it was kind of a stinker, but onward we go. We're going to take a quick break.
Gave it a 6.
Yeah, this guy.
A 6 isn't that great for me, man. It's not an 8. Let's take a quick break. We're going to come back. We got 2 more new album reviews for you guys. Stick around.